Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Promise. Promise stands for Promoting Meaningful Interaction and Social Engagement for Young Children and Youth. It's a community of Asian American caregivers and children with disabilities, and in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And we meet monthly, typically on Tuesdays at 7:30, the second Tuesday at 7:30, to support each other and to learn about a new topic. So today we are very lucky to welcome Betsy Tornquist. She's going to present TerpsEXCEED, Inclusive Higher Education at the University of Maryland. Betsy Tornquist, Dr. Tornquist, is a faculty member in the College of Education at the University of Maryland in the Center for Transition and Career Innovation and the faculty liaison for Terps EXCEED. Terps EXCEED is a 2-year certificate program for students with intellectual disabilities. In this program, students are provided with support to attend UMD or University of Maryland and experience college like typical undergraduates. Terps EXCEED students audit courses, join clubs and organizations, and live and work on campus with support provided by peer mentors and staff. Learn about Terps EXCEED at UMD and how to prepare for inclusive higher education. So welcome, Betsy, and we're very excited to have you here today. Thanks for coming.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I was telling them I love talking about inclusive higher ed, so I'm happy to share with you our program that we have at University of Maryland. We're very proud of it. TerpsEXCEED is a inclusive higher education program at the University of Maryland, and it is the only program in Maryland. These programs are pretty widespread across the country, but we are the only one in the state of Maryland. So TerpsEXCEED started in the fall of 2021. We had 2 students and we had about 15 peer mentors. This year, we have 15 students and we have roughly 150 peer mentors. So we've been growing pretty steadily. TerpsEXCEED is a 2-year program. So it is not a University of Maryland degree program. It's a 2-year program offered through the Office of Extended Studies for students with intellectual disabilities. So these students would not be able to access the University of Maryland in the traditional way. TerpsEXCEED students take undergraduate courses. They take them for audit. They participate in career development activities. They participate in all aspects of campus life. They live in dorms. They belong to clubs. They play sports. And they do all of this supported by a network of trained and certified peer mentors. So here we are. On the left, this is a picture of our team. On the far left is Stacy Brownrigg, and she is our employment specialist. So our program is employment focused. We're hoping that when students leave, they've gained skills to go into the workforce. And they start that by doing a series of internships on campus. And Stacy is the person who connects students to internships. Next to her is Meredith Gramlich, and she is the coordinator of our peer mentors, and she teaches the peer mentor course. Next to her is Amy, and Amy Diaghity is our founder and our director, and the reason we have inclusive higher education in Maryland. And then I'm on the right, and I am the faculty sort of academic liaison. And this is a picture of just some of our guys and girls who are peer mentors and TerpsEXCEED students. So TerpsEXCEED is for students who have intellectual disabilities between the ages of 19 and 26. And like I said, they would not be able to attend the University of Maryland in the traditional route. It's really important that a TerpsEXCEED student has the desire to be a college student and is motivated to attend the University of Maryland. A TerpsEXCEED student in the program must be able to adhere to the code of conduct as any other student would at the University of Maryland and have appropriate behavior for a college setting. They need to be able to communicate effectively with staff, with their faculty members, with peer mentors, and each other. One of the big things that if you have a younger student or students who are starting to use phones, we use phones and technology for so many things. Our students should be comfortable using their cell phones and their laptops. That's how they get around campus with navigating with Google Maps. That's how they keep track of their schedules. So it's important to start early with getting comfortable with using your smartphone and your laptop. It's important, we find that students have had work experiences before they come to college. They should have had opportunities to figure out what they like to do and what they don't like to do. So when we're planning a course of study, They can take that into consideration. They're coming with some experience. It's essential that they enjoy social activities because so much of college is what happens outside of the classroom. You're in class a few hours a day. A big part of everyone's college experiences are those social activities. So they should be able to want to come and join clubs and participate. And I just want to say, if anybody has any questions at any time, I'll save time at the end for questions, but feel free to unmute and ask or raise your hand. Um, so some things that we've learned for TerpsEXCEED and probably for inclusive higher ed in general, that a student in one of these programs needs to be able to remain unsupervised. There's a lot of downtime in college, so you have to be able to plan your activities and fill your time with some meaningful activities. Um, they need to be able to manage their self-care, such as like handling their medication, or if they have a dietary need, the things they need to be themselves. No one's with you one-on-one. At TerpsEXCEED, we do not have 24/7 support for students. That being said, some families have hired other students to provide support to get students to a certain level where they can handle their things themselves. Students must be able to manage their time and activities. This is very important. You don't have to come to University of Maryland knowing how to get around. If you've been to University of Maryland, you know it's a gigantic campus. It's hard to navigate, but you should have the ability to learn to navigate. We will support you in getting to your classes and getting to your activities and getting to and from your dorm and the dining hall, but you should be able to have the ability to be able to do that on your own. Um, Also, dorm life. If we all remember living in a dorm, you share a very small space with another person. So you have to communicate, what your preferences are. I like to go to bed early. I like to sleep late. I like to keep a neat room. I'm kind of messy. So you have to be able to navigate that with another person. You have to be able to attend and participate in college courses. The courses they take are typical college courses for audit, and they need to engage with course material for basic understanding. Um, the other thing that's very important is that when you're a college student, you have to be able to adapt to changes in your schedule because it's not like high school where you have the same schedule every day. Every day is a different schedule. You might have class on Mondays and Wednesdays. You might have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You might have a discussion class on a Wednesday once a week. So you have to be able to adapt to a change in schedule. So through Terps Exceeds, we're trying to develop a pathway for competitive work. We're helping students expand their social and career networks with the end goal is they're going to have social and financial independence. So this graphic is sort of the representation of our program. It's student-centered. So everything that happens is centered around the student. We don't have like cookie cutter like classes and things that people do. We start with the student and they do career exploration and development based on their particular interests. They take classes based on their interests, all of it with help from trained peer mentors to provide campus inclusion. So these are some of the peer mentors. Peer mentors are sort of a cornerstone of our program. And how it works is that there is a course, it's a Gen Ed elective that students can sign up for to become certified peer mentors. So it's a 3-credit University of Maryland course, and they get a nationally recognized peer mentor certification at the end. Through this course, they give 3 hours a week where they support a Terps Exceed student in class, in the dining hall, in the gym, at a club, wherever they sign up to do that, as they're receiving training to become certified as peer mentors. Then we have a lot of students who, once they finish this course and they are certified peer mentors, still want to be connected to the program. So they can go on to a second level of certification. So we have different levels of peer mentors, giving hours and supporting students in classes, doing weekly check-ins for assignments and homework, checking in with them on their social activities, um, on all the extracurricular things, as well as the things that happen in classes. So this is what we call our rainbow calendar. This is how students' days are scheduled. And if you look, each student has a different color. And this isn't even all of our students. You'd have to scroll over because we have 15 now. But the student has, like say, Carly on the far left. She has the dark pink. On the right is a light pink. That's where our peer mentors would sign up to support Carly in her day. So when Carly goes to breakfast, Tressa has signed up to go to breakfast with Carly. Some things to notice is that there are plenty of times where there is no one signed up for our students during the day, and that's when they have to fill their own time and activities. It's also interesting to note if you look at like Donovan in green, he only has one class on this Monday. So college is a very different than the schooling they've had before. They're not somewhere from 9 to 3. Donovan may have a very heavy day on Tuesday and Thursday. His other days would look very different, but on this particular day, he only has class at 2. So this is how our peer mentors sign in to cover our students and how everyone sees who's where and who's supporting who. So how do the academics work? Like I said earlier, this is a 2-year certificate through the Office of Extended Studies. It's not a degree program from the University of Maryland. The students audit courses. That means that they're not getting grades from their professors, but what they're getting is feedback and support. And professors work with the peer mentors and myself to sort of modify some of the assignments. So they're auditing courses, which means that our expectations are to successfully complete the class is that they attend every class, they participate in every class, they participate in discussions and attempt at every assignment. And I, as the faculty liaison, are in communication with our professors on campus. And a lot of times our TerpsEXCEED students are some of the students who get the discussions going in class. Like they're always so happy to have a TerpsEXCEED student class because those are the students who are sitting close to the front. They want to be there. They're participating. They know they're going to be there. They know they're going to do every assignment. And that picture on the left is our 4 graduates from last year. Oh, and all of our students register with ADS, Accessibility and Disability Services on campus, as any other student at the University of Maryland would, meaning they could take their tests in a separate location, they can have extended time, they could have a note taker, but they do that the same way that every other student does. Okay, so as I said before, TerpsEXCEED is really the end goal is for students to leave better able to be competitively employed. And so they have a career-aligned course of study. And while they're here, they do career exploration and preparation activities. They do apprenticeships and internships, which leads hopefully to a job in their career interest area. And that's Matthew in the picture, and he is has an art major, and that's him in his internship, and he works in a studio on campus, an art studio. So as part of their career exploration, students can do informational interviews, they can do worksite tours and job shadowing. Um, the University of Maryland is like a small city. So for any career interest that someone has, there's an internship opportunity. Whether you're interested in maybe like sports medicine with kinesiology or like Matthew in art. This is Carlo. His family has a catering business. And so he wanted to work with the catering service, Goodies to Go at the University of Maryland to build skills to help with his business that his family has at home. So inclusion works even on a humongous campus such as the University of Maryland. This is pictures of our TerpsEXCEED students and our mentors at football games, at the gym. The bottom 2 on the right are pictures with President Pines, the university president, who's a big supporter of our program. So we talked about academics and we talked about career preparation. But one of the things about being in college that makes it the most special are the clubs and activities. This picture is a team that we had, a lot of our TerpsEXCEED students, they have intramural sports at Maryland. So there's always an intramural sports league going. This was the soccer team this year. This was all of them getting ready for a game. In the fall semester and in the spring semester, they have a first look fair and then a second look fair at Maryland, where all of the organizations and clubs um, are out and you can walk around and you can see what the University of Maryland has. There are hundreds of clubs and activities. There is a club and activity for any interest you could possibly have. And these are just a few of the ones that our students participate in. We have a student in the juggling club. We have a student who's not just in the fashion club, but she is on the board as the social media person. We have a young man who plays Smash Bros every Friday with other guys who like to play, and I guess girls who like to play Smash Bros. We have someone on the dance team, someone in the men's chorus, and we do have a Best Buddies partnership. There's a Best Buddies chapter at the University of Maryland. But basically, any interest you have, you can find other people who have the same interests and are having a club and meeting and doing things together. So inclusion matters. This is more pictures of us all around campus. Um, that was us at the Polar Bear Plunge last year. We're doing that again this year. Um, just all around campus. So what families should know? If you have a child with an intellectual disability and you're thinking down the road that inclusive higher ed might be something that you're interested in, some things to think about. Start giving your student the power of choice. Start letting them make the decisions for themselves. Recognize there's dignity in risk. So it's okay to fail. It's okay not to be perfect. Sometimes you have to get lost, problem solve, and figure out your way to develop resilience. Um, we at TerpsEXCEED at the University of Maryland do not provide 24/7 support. So we often say if you've got a student that you're thinking this might be something they're interested in, have them go to a camp, have them visit a friend on their own, have them, do some things independently to start being in charge of their own daily activities, being, ready to take over some of that. And you do that by starting by feeding some supports at home. So families, as a student goes into inclusive higher ed, the role of the parents and the families change from being an advocate for their student to advising their student. So for example, our students, they may call their parents and talk about the classes they're choosing for the next semester, but the parents don't choose the class, the students do. It becomes a difference between the rights and the responsibilities between the students and the family. Start working on skill development at home. Have your students start navigating their way in the community or making their own plans. And of course, start making those connections to community agencies um, and financial resources such as DOORS and DDA if it's applicable. So if you have an older student who might be interested in TerpsEXCEED, the application deadline is open, or application is open right now. It opened on December 1st and it closes on February 1st. Decisions are made by April 1st and following this first of the month thing, housing submissions, so if they're going to live on campus, have to be made by May 1st. So our application is up on our website. There's our website. If you are curious and wondering about the fees associated with TerpsEXCEED, it is typical University of Maryland tuition plus room and board, and there's a $5,000 per semester programmatic fee. Eligible students who have cases with Maryland Doors, we have been finding that they have been paying for the tuition and room and board because it's a employment focused program that they don't have comparable alternatives otherwise in Maryland. We don't guarantee it, but that is what's been happening so far. So that's why it's really important to, if you live in Maryland, to make that connection and have a VR case with doors. Okay. Again, here's our graduates from last year, and I'm going to stop sharing and open it up if anybody has any questions for me about inclusive higher ed in general or TerpsEXCEED specifically. And I apologize that I don't have my camera on. I was telling them earlier that I have a little technological issue where my computer restarted and it doesn't recognize my camera anymore.